I guess this is now just the Finders Flippers Podcast. I'm the only one, so you've got Stewart from Franklin Ventures here. Wes and Johnny are no longer with the show. So thanks for joining, and we hope to see you next time.
Forrester, how you doing? Welcome back, everyone. Do what?
They're glad it was you, not me.
And we appreciate our people that are subscribed. So I can't speak.
And if Johnny was here, he would say, "This Knoxville Minute's brought to you by visitknoxville.com."
So, Johnny, I was wondering, Johnny.
You know, Wes, this was a really successful episode. I thought just you and me.
Yeah, I agree.
And do we need Johnny? Or
I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's fired.
Say, dude, you're fired. Welcome back, everyone, to the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, episode 35, a special one. Stewart, we're slipping this one in between our regular programming, so we're going to go ahead and do episode 35 this evening.
Yeah, and it's special because Johnny's not here, right?
And so we're kind of sneaking a little episode where he's not here. This is actually
around on Johnny. So
yeah.
Johnny's at the play tonight, I think. So that's why he couldn't be with us. So yeah, welcome in everybody. Appreciate everybody who's been watching us. Our subscriber count, I think, as of filming this, is 150 now. So just 50 away from our next live, which will be at 200. So keep subscribing, keep liking those videos. We really appreciate everybody who's engaged with us with comments and everything else. So yes, a big thanks. For sure.
I've had some people shoot me some messages asking about keep a weekly running. Where are we at so far now on those Beanie Babies? Because I know I gave you like 55, 56 of them to start. Yeah,
I don't have it in front of me tonight like I did last time. I know last show, I think I had about $28 to give you, so getting close to your original, but that does mean, we've sold them for more than you paid for them now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know that I sold any since last week, but we do have the Fall Festival coming up, October 4th and 5th, I believe it is. So that'll be a good opportunity to sell some at that.
Jump into that a little bit, Stewart. Go ahead and talk about that, because I know we've talked about it in shows past, but kind of talk about how that's going to shake out and where you do that at and what you're looking to see there if somebody were to go.
Yeah, so I believe it's called the Clinch River Antique Festival, and it's in Clinton, Tennessee, and that's just about 30 minutes north of Knoxville, but it's where we have our booth at Granny's Attic Antiques, and it's a really huge antique festival. Clinton has two a year. They have the spring one and then the fall one. The fall one of the two is much bigger. They close all the streets down. They have food vendors. They have live music. They'll have vendors on the street selling antiques and other things, along those lines. All the antique malls on the street will run sales. I know I can only talk specifically about ours, but our whole store will be 20% off store-wide. And it's really only 2 times a year that we do like sales that are not optional for the dealers. So everybody has to be 20% off. And even like my jams and jellies will be 20% off. It's the only time all year that I put them on sale. Same thing with the owner's candles. She does the Candleberry candles, and they're all 20% off as well. But I mean, it's literally, we can make as much that weekend, as we do. And I won't say the rest of the year combined, but I mean, it's a huge, huge event. I mean, there'll be people literally lined out the door to check out. I mean, that's how busy it is. So it is a all hands on deck event.
I'm curious about the traffic pattern of people compared to your other store. It's just down a little bit from where you were. How much further down is it? Because I know you had mentioned that, but it's like a block or two. Is that about how far away it is? Or
yeah, I mean, it's literally, so the old shop was down here at the bottom of the hill, and you just walk up the street. It's not even really a whole block, and it's at the top of the street on the left. So I don't know. I don't really think it's going to affect traffic patterns at all. I mean, we still have a back door that goes out right into one of the public parking lots, just like we did at the old store. So we have that benefit. People can park in one of those lots and come right in the back door. And Now, as far as if you do come, I know if you don't get there early, like parking right in the downtown area can be tough, but they do run shuttles. I'm not sure exactly where they pick up, but I know there's signs everywhere, parking for the Antique Festival. But if you don't like the crowds, you can also come on Sunday, because our store, I don't know about all the other stores. I know they'll probably be open, but we run the same sale on Sunday that we do on Friday and Saturday, because technically the festival's on Friday and Saturday both.
Okay. And again, the dates on that?
It's October 4th and 5th. I believe the 4th is a Friday and the 5th is a Saturday. But it's the first weekend in October. But yeah, if you're anywhere close to the Knoxville area, or you're looking to do something that weekend, I would highly recommend coming down. It's a real good time and a lot of good deals to be had, and a lot of good food and music. And you can also, while you're here, there's other things you can do around Knoxville. Obviously, you can go to the mountains, Gatlinburg, those kind of places, but you can also go to Norris Dam and go to the Appalachian Museum, which is a really cool place. And so there's a lot to do right around that area, a lot of outdoor stuff.
What was the times on that, Stewart?
I think Saturday is 10 to 6, I think. It might be 10 to 8, but I know it starts at 10. And then Friday, I believe, is, I'm pretty sure Friday's 10 to 8.
Plus, they can get to meet you. And if they feel like it, they could pick up a Beanie Baby going outside your store or coming into your store.
Yeah, if you come in, and if you do happen to visit at Granny's Attic, if you come in the front door, you'll see Wes's Beanie Babies, like right on the floor in a milk crate, right as you come in the door on the right. You can't miss them. You look for all the records and books, and Wes's Beanie Babies are front and center, right with all that stuff. Yeah, here's the date. So actually Friday, it's noon to 8 p.m. on October. No, that was last year's. It did not come up for this year's. I was looking on Facebook, but I know it lasts till 8. So, and I'm pretty sure we open at 10 on Friday. Well, I will put a link to the webpage for the Antique Festival in the show notes. So yeah, just check the description, and I'll put a link in there that'll take you to the page that lists all the different vendors and food and things of that nature. Of course, now, just so nobody thinks that, Wes is not like charging eBay $10,000 prices for his Beanie Babies. We're talking $5 each or 3 for $12. So even without that extra 5% off, I think everybody can afford those. So.
Oh yeah. A little memento of Wes's big mistake.
But I'll tell you what.
Wait a minute. My learning opportunity. There you go.
If you do go to the festival and buy one of Wes's Beanie Babies, please comment that in the comments, or send us. You can send us a picture of you holding the Beanie Baby.
And we'll definitely give them a shout out if they send the picture. We'll stick it up here on the next podcast after the fall festival. We'll definitely give everybody a shout out that does that.
So did Johnny mention what play he was going to tonight?
Not to me. No. Yeah. What do you think he's going to see? Alice in Wonderland?
I don't know. Since he didn't seem to know anything about it, I'm guessing it's not one that he chose. So how's your reselling going now that you've started all your reffing and teaching and everything else you got going on in your life? Is it tough?
Actually, it's better than I think it's ever been. Because it is a lot. But if you want something done, you give it to a busy person, right? Yeah. That's what I've always heard. So, committed to what I'm doing and everything I'm doing. Of course, the season hasn't officially kicked off. We just finished up a fall basketball league, so we're now kind of in limbo for 3 or 4 weeks until the actual season gets started. I seem to be having some sales in the midweek, Stewart, that I didn't really have before, if that makes sense. I'm having 3, 4, 5, here and there that are kind of picking my sales up for me. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, this week's been really good. A shout out to Consignment Chats. They had an event started last Thursday, and it was called Listapalooza, I think is what it was called. And It was just like a listing challenge, and it kind of held you accountable because at the end of the day, you would go post how many you listed. So it seems like every time they've had this in the past, I've always been out of town or something and not able to participate. So I was able to participate, and I did a lot more listing than I normally do. And I did see the results this week. You know, I know you always hear, hey, if you list more, you'll sell more, beat the algorithm or whatever. But it seems to be true because I've had a really busy week of selling stuff and shipping stuff out. Been getting a lot of offers, you know, not really too low balling offers. Of course, I set I don't know about you, but I always turn on the minimum offers I'll accept. And it's funny because when they do get to the offer that actually comes to me, you know, you can go see at the bottom, like all your declined offers, and you can see they've started like at a certain place. And then it's like just kind of like on The Price is Right, that game where you try to get the price, you know, you just keep going up and or down.
Higher.
And so I have gotten a lot of offers this week, and I've accepted pretty much all of them. So yeah, it's been a busy week.
Yeah, I like it. The offers.
I will be curious. I have like 1,200 items on eBay, and some of those things have been on there forever. So I did set up a sale this morning that's 30% off, and I didn't even realize you could do this. When you go in and choose, I'd always set up rules for sales, like, you know, all the things in this category or however. But if you manually pick, it defaults to give you things by like how long it shows you the list based on how long they've been on the platform. So I just took like my top 300 items that, you know, have been on there for more than 800 days, I think it was, and put all those on 30% off. So I'm curious if I'll sell any of that stuff that's been sitting out there, you know, literally forever.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know that too, because I'm not sure if I knew you could do that or not either. But that is good information to hear that. So
yeah, there's two options when you go to set up a sale. There's like define categories by rules or manually select items. And if you choose the manually select items, then you can filter the list down to, you know, different things. So I filtered for everything older than 800 days, and then I just chose all those, and it ended up being like 300 and something items. I went out to the booth today. I'd had all these posters sitting around forever that trying to figure out the best way to sell them. Because with the new rules on the USPS with your surcharges for over certain lengths, a lot of these were like 28 inches on the shortest side. So even rolled up, you know, you got to have them at least a 28, 30-inch tube. And I think it's anything over 21 inches gets an extra $4 automatically. And if it's over 30 inches, it's like an extra $15. So those really large posters are difficult. I mean, I've sold some smaller ones. But I've been trying to figure out, you know, the best way to display those in the booth, because I don't have a lot of wall space, and, you know, you don't want to stick thumbtacks in them or anything like that. Right. I went and bought some of the foam board. You know, it's the stuff that it's rigid, but it's not real thick. So my original thought was I'd gotten some photo corners, the things you put on the edges of pictures to put the poster on there so I didn't have to tape it or anything. And then I had some of that, that like, you know what that like used to be called Fun Tack or something. It's that kind of rubbery stuff, you know, you can use to stick up to the wall, and it supposedly doesn't cause issues.
Right.
So, you know, I put a big poster on each side of the foam board. I think I had one that was a meatloaf poster. I had
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and go out to my Instagram and you can see where I posted pictures of two of them. It was then Lincoln Park was the other one, and then a Paul Simon, and then a Ned's Atomic Dustbin, which was like an alternative band in the 90s. So I got that foam board, and originally I had the photo corners in this Fun Tack, but it wasn't sticking very well. And so I knew as soon as I left, I mean, they were just going to start falling off into the floor because I just leaned them against something. So then I got the idea, maybe I could like use magnets, like get two magnets and put them on either side, you know, so that holds the corner. So I ended up doing that. And
have you ever laminated them, or does that hurt the value?
Well, I didn't want to laminate the posters. I would think that could hurt the value because, you know, people may not want them laminated. But yeah, the magnet thing seems to have worked pretty well. And then the other benefit to that now is, you know, I got some smaller posters so I could put multiple ones on one of the pieces of foam board. Because the foam board I got is like 40 by 32, I think. So it's really big.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah, this is one I picked up this summer. It was on the wall, and it's like you said, it's got the holes in it and stuff. And it was really rolled up bad. And I was like, if I don't ever sell this, that's great because I went ahead and I had that thick lamination done to it.
Okay.
And it's like super thick. And it's got the dates down there. Yeah, it's really
that's cool.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I did pick this up today. It's not a poster, but it's like a World War I certificate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's neat.
So I think it's from like 1919.
That's really neat.
But it's got really good artwork on it.
Back when the Titanic movie came out, right after it left the theaters, it had a pretty good long run. I think it was in 97, 98. I knew a manager of one of the local movie places that she promised me to let me have one of the Titanic things in the lobby. You know how you walk in the lobby and it's got these big cardboard, and it looks like it's the metal from the side of the ship, and it says Titanic. But I have held on to that for a very, very long time. I think one night I'm going to have it appear as my backdrop so you can see it. It's really big. It is really, really big.
I wonder how much value something like that has.
I have no idea. I haven't even looked it up. I just think it's too cool. It's just like, this is neat.
Yeah, I also picked up all these, a whole box of, I actually got all these off Whatnot, but it's, I don't know, a couple of hundred probably postcards, and they're all like antique holiday.
Oh,
postcards.
you got into the postcards.
Yeah, so
Popeye's postcard. Yeah, he's going to be
I feel like I got really good deals on these. I mean, they're mostly Christmas and Valentine's for the two holidays. So anyway, I think I'm going to try to sell these in the booth. And so today I ordered like 100 postcard sheets for a three ring binder off of Amazon. So it wasn't much. I mean, it was like maybe $15, I think, for 100 of those sheets. So it'll hold, I think each sheet holds 6 postcards. So I should be able to get all these in here, and I'm just going to get it where people can look through them and probably just charge, however much a piece for these.
I will admit he inspired me, and I have been looking at estate sales for postcards. Now, what is the year on those? Do you know?
I think they're mostly early 1900s. There may be a few late 1800s, but I know there were a few Tuck postcards in there, which Raphael Tuck, I know that's one of the more desirable designers. And then Ellen Clapsaddle's another one. And I believe there's some both Clapsaddle and Tuck postcards. So I'll have to kind of look through them as I put them in the binders.
That's cool. Now, I have bought my very first 2 postcards this weekend and at an estate sale. And here's the first one, and it's already up. I'm putting it up on eBay. Here's the first one. This is from the 2000 Indy 500.
Oh, wow.
It's a 500 balloon release. It's just from 2000 though, so it's not that old. But and then here's another one, the Brickyard 400. So, and that's also from 2000. So 24 years old already.
I know it doesn't seem like 2000 should be 24 years ago.
No.
So you have to keep us updated how you do on those. So for anybody watching, I mean, on things with as many as I have here, I mean, you can see, I mean, it's a whole box full. Mm-hmm. I would say there's at least 150, 200 postcards in there.
So so where are you selling them at for sure?
So I think I'm going to do them in the booth, and I think I'm going to just put them all in the like protectors, the sleeve in a binder, so people can just look through the book. Then they're already all in sleeves, so I'll just put the sleeves inside the binder, and then people can look through it.
Let's do this, Ster. Let's have a little challenge. Pull out 2 cards. Just pick any 2.
All right.
Put them up there, and I'll put these 2 up, and let's see if we can get these sold. Okay. That's all I have. I've only got 2. So
yeah, I'll pull 2 out of here and list them on eBay. So
okay, and let's see how good they do. You can find mine at the Slim Flippers on eBay, and Stuart, they can find yours at Franklin Hill Ventures on eBay. Is that correct?
Yep, I believe that's right. Yep. Franklin Mills all
you've got so many different places you sell. Stuart's all over the place, everybody, just so you know. He's everywhere. He's quite the seller.
I do cross post, so yeah, if you're not cross posting, you're missing an opportunity.
You got to list it perfectly, right?
Yes, I do use List Perfectly.
Quick, unlisted,
one of the other people on the podcast uses Vendu, which I can't say anything one way or the other about that one because I haven't used it. But if you are interested in trying List Perfectly, you can use the code FHV and sign up and get 25% off your first month. So, and always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions if you do decide to use List Perfectly. So I've been using it now for 4 years, I believe. And it did. I mean, it really, literally did change my reselling game. So you going to try to do any yard sales this weekend? Look like there's a couple of neighborhood yard sales. I'm going to get up and head out towards Corrington. They have the 9-mile yard sale tomorrow. It runs from, I can't remember exactly, but it's out. I mean, it's way on out there, close to Corrington. You go.
Oh, really?
Going past Gibbs, and I've been to it before, and they call it the 9-mile yard sale. It's kind of through a rural area, but a bunch of houses participate, and there's like 3 churches on the route too that'll have sales at their church, and I've done pretty well finding stuff there before.
Now, is it just on Friday, or is it also
It's Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you can just Google 9-mile yard sale, and it should come up. So speaking of football, what did you think about the Tennessee game last week with the 71-0? That was,
I've been on the other end of that.
For Kent State, they were probably the worst football team I've ever seen. I mean, Tennessee was literally was playing against air almost. I mean, they were
right.
Just not.
It's no fun. I mean, it's not good for Tennessee. I think they're really good. I don't know how much they got out of that, but then, you're just basically humiliating the other team. And being on the other side of that, I felt for those kids because nobody wants to be on that side of it. But if there is some positives, I believe Heupel could have scored 140 if he wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Against that team, they could have scored as many as they wanted. Now, I will say, I know Chattanooga and Kent State aren't that great, and the jury's still out on NC State, but I will say in prior years, Tennessee's played teams like that and not had the focus, not had whatever, and really struggled to put teams away. So I do think, one takeaway you can take this year is the fact that Tennessee took care of business. And,
that's one of the differing factors because whenever they do head into it, I think Heupel's now got these guys where they're focused. You go in, you take care of your business, you do what you do. And it's not really about the other team. It's about you going in, finishing plays and running the offense, having the defense. And I think he's got them really super hyper-focused. And they're probably going to need that come Saturday night because those people in Norman, Oklahoma, they're going to be fired up to have, Heupel coming back because he won a national championship for him as a quarterback.
Yeah, and finished runner-up in the Heisman. So,
and
if Johnny was here, he would say, "This Knoxville Minute's brought to you by visitknoxville.com."
Yeah, totally unsolicited, but I think we should talk to somebody about that. So, Stuart, I was wondering, your booth that you have in Clinton, or even your other booths that you have in Knoxville, what are some of your top 5 sellers that you have that you sell in these places?
Yeah, sure. So, and it does vary by location. I think we've talked on some past episodes, just the difference in the type of customer, in general that we get at each place. Clinton tends to be more tourists, so it's more looking for smaller things they can take home, where in the 2 Knoxville booths, you're more likely to get like interior decorators, people looking to maybe decorate houses and stuff. So you tend to sell more like furniture and artwork and those kind of things. But in general, like records do really well for me, especially in Clinton. And that's where most of my record inventory is focused, is at Granny's in Clinton. And that's definitely one of my top sellers there. So I'm always on the lookout for vinyl. I mean, every yard sale I go to, I'm always, "Hey, do y'all have any vinyl that you didn't bring out?" And, every once in a while you'll have somebody say, yeah, we didn't think anybody would want it or whatever, and we'll bring it out. So for sure, records, and then just books in general do really well at all three of my booth locations. And, you can usually find books really cheap at yard sales, estate sales, even thrift shops. So, I focus mainly on more vintage and antique books, but really any coffee table books, anything like that, if I can get them for $1 or so, I'll go in and get those and put them in the booth as well. And books do really well. They're one of my more consistent sellers. And then probably at the 2 Knoxville booths, I sell a lot of artwork. And that's another thing that you can generally find pretty inexpensively at yard sales and thrift shops, and occasionally estate sales. In fact, I just had a sale in Clinton, so it wasn't even at one of the 2 Knoxville booths. I'd gotten 4 of those. Have you ever seen they're like English fox hunt prints? They're popular. And these were like really old ones. They were, signed by whoever did the lithograph, and just really cool. So I got 4 of those in an online auction for one of the estate sale companies, and I think I paid $12 for all 4 of them. And I ended up selling them for $50 each the other day. So that was a really good turnaround on those. So yeah, books, records, art, and then past that, it's really hard to say. It just really depends on who walks through the door that day. And, in fact, you can have something that's been there for 4 years and the right person walks in and they walk out with it. But yeah, of course, our jam, we do well with our jams and jellies at all 3 of our booth locations, not antiques, but those do really well for us. So yeah, that's probably, I would say like consistent sellers would be books and records and artwork.
Well, that is all the time that we have this evening on the Finders Flippers Resell Podcast. Stewart, I enjoyed it. Just you and me this evening, kind of like old times when we first met.
Yeah, it was nice to be able. We talked a little more Knoxville UT football than we normally would because we didn't have Johnny here to cut us off, and so it was a fun episode. Looking forward to getting Johnny back, though. I hate to, you are missed, Johnny. So
yes, you are.
So yeah,
we're just real curious which play he went to, so we can't wait to find that one out.
Yeah, since he didn't know what it was, I'm guessing he did not pick it out. But
yeah, I'd say you're right.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for watching. Big thanks to everybody who's been subscribing. As we mentioned at the start of the episode, looking forward to getting to 200 so we can do our next live. And we'll see y'all next week.
Have a great evening, Stewart. I'll talk with you later, my friend.
All right, see you, Wes.